You know that I am a Ferrum Forge fanboy. As a matter of fact, I'm really good friends with Chris and Elliot, the owners of the company. As a matter of fact, Elliot taught me how to make knives. So it really pains me to say that we're going to look at a Ferrum Forge design that I really don't like. So let's turn this around and take a look at the Space Cowboy from above. Okay, guys, I know you saw the intro, and I have to tell you that this knife, while it is great, this is a very good knife, just isn't my cup of tea, and I'm going to explain why in a little bit. This is the Ferrum Forge Knife Works design Space Cowboy through CJRB, and it is done with one of CJRB's great button locks that they've been doing on a budget. These are some of the best button locks you're going to find. The action on this is amazing. The blade is done incredibly well. Let's go ahead. This is the first day I've had it in pocket, and I'll tell you about the good stuff. And then I'll tell you at the end why I kind of am upset about this knife. So this is done in AR-RPM 9, and it's done in almost a spear point kind of drop point. So you've got almost it's almost like a leaf shaped blade. So you've got almost the same radius on the spine that you have on the edge. So it's a good looking blade. You've got some jimping running down the back. This is done in AR-RPM 9, and it is very thin. This is a super slicey knife. The blade shape on it does lend itself to being an overall good user. It is radiused from tip to tail, heel to tip, but it's a gentle radius, so it's not like you're losing anything if you're trying to do the things you would do with your typical work knife that has a more flat area and then some belly. It's just all belly, but it's done nicely. Flipper tab on it is great. You have really good access. Definitely a Ferrum Forge Knife Works flipper tab. I tested it. You can use it as a bottle opener. The button lock on it is great. The detent is just about perfect to allow you to snap it. Now, it is a flipper only. There is no thumb stud or anything like that. I've tried, but the fact that it's a button lock means that you can simply disengage the lock and allow it to flip open. It's hard to do behind the camera. It is a button lock, so it is 100% ambidextrous, which is cool, but we'll get into some of the other features on that later. This access right here on this flipper, this gives you a spot to like kind of power up and really snap that flipper open. This choil area here on it is a nice I don't know, half teardrop shape that is adequate for me to use as a full choil, and it removes you from the plunge far enough that sharpening on this will not be problematic. AR-RPM 9 steel, one of my favorite budget steels that you can get. This is a linered version of this, so it's G10 scales over steel liners with the button, as opposed to like a full steel, which means that this knife is very light. And you have got a very deep carry pocket clip that is actually, the pocket clip stands up taller than the actual scales on the knife, which means if you're somebody that really wants your knife deep in your pocket, you can do that. And it does have its benefits. If you have a really fancy knife and you don't want to scuff up your hardware, or if you don't want to catch on stuff, or if the point on this is problematic, this is nice because you can carry it all the way forward in your pocket if you're carrying other knives. The action on it, the CJRB button locks have been amazing. Like I said, for a flipper, sometimes button locks can be soft. The detent on this is absolutely just perfect. Now, this was not hand-picked. Russell reached into a box of these at the show, handed me one when the show was over, just grabbed one random one, was not hand-picked for the channel. So that means that this is probably how most of them are going to be. All of them are. And Artisan has got, CJRB and Artisan have got a really good warranty. The handles on this, if you want a full grip, you've got pretty much a full 4-finger grip, and like I said, you can get further up on it. And this is pretty good in a pinch grip like this for doing some all-around cutting, and you've got a really good control of the point of that knife. And the nice thing about some of these shorter knives is it doesn't feel out of sorts. Sometimes when a knife gets a little bit longer, you feel like you lose some control of this knife. So I'm going to do a full review of it. This is just basically the first day in pockets, but I'm going to tell you there's some stuff I really don't like about this knife, and we'll talk about that when we turn this over and we look at the bad stuff after you guys hear from this video sponsor. Guys, with Halloween officially being in the books, you know what that means. It's the start of the holiday season, which means Coffee Brand Coffee is starting to release some of their new flavors. You can see me opening up the one that they sent me right there. This is the butterscotch toffee. It is amazing. I'm having a cup of it right now. They have got some of the best flavored coffees you're going to find. All of their coffee is roasted on demand when you order it, ground or bean sent to your door. They also have cocoa. They have tea. They have got cold brew bags. And the thing is, now that it's the holiday season, they are starting to do their gift boxes. So if you want to get a gift for someone for Christmas, I absolutely recommend it. There is no risk because it's a money back guarantee if you try their coffee. And you can save 10% with my link. So check them out. Give them a shot. I absolutely love what they're doing over there. Guys, I got to get out of here and get back to filming. All right. First and foremost, this is a Ferrum forged design that is very closely based on a design that they did in-house that I just did not like. The Ferrum forged scepter. This is very, very similar. Almost to the point where I could say that there's only a couple minor differences, except for like thickness and weight and stuff like that. So that's the big one. It's just a design that I didn't like, but I think that this probably is the best possible version of that design. So in hand, it just doesn't feel right in my hand. It doesn't, I never liked the scepter design. I don't like it. This thins out too much. It feels like I don't have really good control of the knife. It feels like it's going to try and slip out of my hand, even though I know it's not. I've got positive control of it. It just doesn't feel secure in my hand. Next thing, they did this jimping from here all the way down to here, but it's so soft. It's just not even there. It's just, that's one of my pet peeves. If you're going to do jimping, I want it to serve a purpose. I want it to actually allow me purchase on that. I shouldn't just be able to do that. It should lock up and lock me in. Like I've said, the Sabenza has some of the most perfect jimping you're going to find. The jimping on the flipper tab is way more aggressive than the jimping on the spine. I really don't need jimping on the flipper tab, but it's there and it's more aggressive than the jimping that I would use. Next thing. With the thinness of this, it's another knife that rolls out of the cut for me. It has a lot to do with how thin this is back here, how narrow this is, and how narrow this is. So it's not as broad this way or as thick this way as I would like it. Then we get into what I really hate about this knife. Can you see the red area on my hand here? That flipper tab, or I'm sorry, that pocket clip is absolutely not what I want on this knife. On a small knife like this, that's thin, especially in the area that is in my hand, it's absolutely, absolutely horrible in my hand as a hotspot. Now, I do know that you can replace this pocket clip with one of the titanium ones that they offer, but the fact is, it's just a bad pocket clip on this knife, in my opinion. And the fact is, you can see that there's a spot here on this liner where you could have had reversible. Since this is an ambidextrous lock, there are no holes on the other side to marry up. Now, could you go ahead and drill those out? Yeah, you could, but like, why would you go to the trouble of having them in there, but not make this knife ambidextrous? There's no reason this knife does not have a reversible pocket clip, especially considering how good the button lock is as an ambidextrous lock. So overall for me, and this is going to be out of character because it is a Ferrum forged design so far, is it a yup or a nah? For me, there's just too many things at play. And especially being based on a design that I didn't like the first time. Yeah, it's a nah for me, but I do know a lot of people love the scepter design. There's a lot of people that are going to like this. I'm not knife shaming. If you like this knife, that's fine. It has nothing to do with aesthetics. For me, it's just an overall, like, this just does not fit what I want in a knife. So one of the first Ferrum forged knife work designs that got a nah. You can pick these up over at Machine Co. This is my buddy Ty's company. He's doing a lot of stuff over there. It's going to be pretty cool. So guys, let's turn this around, do some final thoughts, and send you out about your day.
There you go, guys. It's kind of funny. It is a very good knife. There's nothing wrong with this knife. It's just a personal preference thing, and it kind of was at a deficit to begin with because it's based on a design that I didn't like the first time. So I talked to Elliot about it. It's a great knife. This is probably the best version of what would have been the Scepter. And And as a matter of fact, super, super slicey. It's a very functional knife. I'm going to try and carry it for a while. I may change some of my opinions. This might be one that changes my mind. I might just take the pocket clip off and see if that changes my overall opinion. But right now, it's just not really looking good for it. I'm sorry. So guys, that's it on this one. Like the videos if you like them. If you don't like them, give them a thumbs down. It does not hurt my feelings. As a matter of fact, I'd prefer that you give it a thumbs down and tell me why. Constructive criticism, constructive criticism allows me to modify what I do here on the channel and add better content for you guys. So if you want to support the channel, I know I threw an ad in. It's holidays. I do have one company that's doing a lot of holiday stuff, so you're probably seeing Coffee Brand Coffee. They're definitely doing a lot for the holidays. So with that being said, Coffee Brand Coffee, Tempered Trail, Doll Strong Knives are my sponsors. I have a discount with Coffee Brand Coffee and Tempered Trail. It's built into the links down below, but you can also use coupon code CrazySharp, all one word, and that also works at Ferrum Forge Knife Works and Rosecraft Blades. So you save 10% at all of those vendors with that coupon code. I have an Amazon store down below. Take it, pin it to your browser, use it for any of the shopping you're doing on Amazon. It doesn't cost you anything extra. I have affiliate links down with most of the popular vendors, Knife Ship Free, Blade HQ, GP Knives, really, really good companies that you can rely on to provide you knives. And I have got a membership down below that's tier-based. Everybody gets access to a bunch of stuff. I have a private Discord. I do exclusive content. There's giveaways for the premium and baseline guys. The premium guys have got access to a sharpening tutorial series. And I've also built for everyone a public Discord that everyone can access. It's in the link down below. Join the community, hang out, and spend some time with the other subscribers. Guys, that's it on this one. I love you all. Keep it clean in the comments section. If it's your birthday, happy birthday. And I'll see you in the next video.